so now we have, I think throughout our whole year of experiences, I think we came up with like the 4 most interesting, you want to switch the camera? 4 most interesting experiences that we've had.
Yeah, let's switch hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So number 1, I'm going to start with our first, was our second campsite in Washington, South Washington. South part, kind of Washington. We stayed there, we were there at this campsite for 2 weeks. And the whole time, it pretty much rained all day long. Yes. I think like early afternoon, it stopped raining for a little bit where we all go outside and like kind of do some exploring and show the kids around stuff and play by the river and whatnot, and then it started raining.
We were there for like just under a week?
I think it was 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
It was almost 2 weeks, yeah. And so that was interesting because like we slept a lot. It was just really, but anyway, so what was weird about this campsite is that right across from we had our camp area, and then right across from us there is a camp, or a group of people. There was an older man and an older lady with their camper, and they sat outside like almost every day, and they were faced toward us, so it looked like they were literally just staring at us the whole time we were there, the whole 14 days, unless they were inside. And so it was kind of weird. We'd go outside and they would just be sitting there. They would be talking, and then as soon as we go outside, they'd like stare, and we'd like, people are staring at us. What's going on here?
And we're like, no, they're not staring at us. Then we're like, well, let's see. We're like, they're like,
right. Oh, right. They are staring at us.
Oh, okay.
And like, it was weird too, because like the guy in the morning, or even actually, I think it was like in the morning
multiple times a day.
Yeah, multiple times. He'd get in his like pickup truck and drive around the whole like campsite, all the way to like the other end of the camping area too, like the group campsites and the tent area, pavilion and whatever. And then he'd like drive all the way back, and then like go back to his campsite. And I was like, maybe he's dropping off trash, because the trash is over that high. I don't know. It was like so weird.
And then I thought, maybe he's like the camp host or something.
Yeah, about halfway through, we were like, they're probably like the camp host people, because like they're here, though they haven't gone anywhere yet, and there's people coming and going. They're still there, and they look like they've been there for a while. So they're probably like the camp hosts and just like patrolling every evening, and watching the people that are there. I don't know. And then literally the day before we leave, we see them packing up and leaving. We're like, oh, so they weren't the camp hosts? What the fuck? And so we got 1 day without people sitting across from us, like staring at us like almost all day long.
And I saw their like camp ticket, because it's like you put it up on like your little post. And they were there for like a day before us, and like they left the day before.
The day before we left.
And so it was like insane. Like literally, they just sit there like acting like the camp hosts, like staring at everybody. Anyone that drove in there was like,
they'd stare, since we were there like the whole time that they were there. And so there's some days where it's just the two of our camp, like us and them, that were there. They like watched us the whole time. So that was a little creepy. It was a little weird. So there was that incident, and like I said, that was our second camping experience. So that was kind of like,
like, should we be doing this? Is this gonna be a normal thing?
Right. But that was the only experience we had like that. But so the next one, number two there. You want to tell this one since you saw it? The cat.
Oh, okay. So we're
at go ahead. Washington again.
It was the first time we went to, I don't remember what it was called, but we went to this place a couple different times. We were sitting in the RV. It was like dark. We were about
really dark out. The new moon night.
New moon night.
Week
so
or something.
Really dark. We're all just sitting around, and all of a sudden we see the cat just like go from the front of the RV and just like bolt out of nowhere. Like, what the heck was that about? And then she's like all like poofed up and like hiding, and I was like,
what's going on? It's really dark outside. What the heck's going on?
And then we also heard like a thunk. This kind of sounds. I was like, was it like a branch or something? And I go and look outside, and off of our hood jumps a massive cat. I was like, oh, what was that? And I look outside, and I was like, that's a really big cat. That's a bobcat. It jumped onto our hood, to try to get to our cats to eat them.
Maybe it was trying to play with them.
Or maybe
we don't
trying
know.
to play with them, yeah,
Whatever.
But it terrified our cats. Like our cats bolted.
It was funny. Like she was like creeping around the windows, like what's up with the cats? And then she went up to the front, and then like she was there for like 2 seconds, and then bam, she was back and under the bed somewhere. And we're like, whoa, what the heck just happened?
This cat doesn't get spooked very easily.
Yeah.
She's been like, she grew up around a Rottweiler, and like she's interacted with raccoons and stuff like that. Like, but this time she was scared.
Oh my god, that was probably like because that like ruffled our feathers just a little bit, because we're like, what the heck was that? What's outside? It's a gargoyle. What the heck's going on?
But yeah, it was a pretty big sized bobcat too. I was just like, oh wow, okay, bobcats jump on your hoods here. I was like, gotcha.
Cool. Alright. So that was number 2. So number 3, I think, would be the owls. I think, yeah. So
that started with in Oregon. No.
we were still up in the
one place
Northwest. Yeah, one of the Washington ones. No, we were in California, I think. But
because Devil's Lake was in Oregon. That was one of them. But that was doing.
No. I'm talking about the owls that like kept. Like,
oh, that one. Okay. Yeah.
So
I see.
So we were at one campsite for, I think we were in California, North California, but we were at one campsite for like, I think it was 5 days, maybe 4 nights or something like that. And so we would go out every day like we usually do, kind of walk around the campsite and explore whatever, and then like every evening it was like the same time every evening. I can't remember if it was evening or early in the morning, actually. Now that I think back, I don't really remember which one it was.
Neither here nor there.
But it might be important. It was like really early in the morning, I think. But I would hear like owls, and at first I didn't know what it was. Yeah, because I haven't been around that many owls that make noise. But anyway, so they would just go on for like an hour or something. I'd be like, and then the next day we go out, whatever, and we come back in, and again around the same time overnight, I'm in bed and I wake up to the sound of owls, and that happened basically for like the first 3 nights that we were there, I would want to say. And then so the next evening before it's nighttime, I'm like, I want to go out and like see if there's owls, because like I keep hearing owls like every single night. So I want to like go and see, are there owls outside somewhere? And so me and Helena take a walk, and yeah, we see owls up in the trees, and there's probably like that we can see 3 or 4 of them probably. I'm like, cool, yeah, there are owls out here. And then we go on our walk, and it's probably like a quarter mile. I don't know, quarter mile or something, like a half a mile. But I keep looking back, and I see that the owls are like following us in the trees. I'm like, are they following us? Like, we walk, and I look back again, I see, and I had the camera with me, so I could zoom in, and they're just like staring at us. Well, obviously, right? I guess. They're like humans. But no, they're like looking at us, and then like they would just, travel through the trees to kind of stay kind of close to our path where we were walking, and they literally followed us the whole walk, and it was just kind of weird. I don't know, but what was really weird about it is that, so yeah, that evening, I was expecting to hear them around the same time that we usually heard them, and I didn't hear them anymore. That was kind of weird. It was like almost like they were summoning, like, we have to give you some message. And then we finally went out and saw them directly, and then they did what they needed to do, and then we're like, all right, we will go about our journey. It was so weird. It was like, it was just weird. It was very interesting.
And that story reminds me of like the turkeys that were following you around that one campsite. We were like recording, you like turn around, like there's a bunch of turkeys following you, and then anytime you stop and look at them, they're like, and you start walking again, and you turn back around, there's like a flock of turkeys following you.
Running after me. But yeah, so that was interesting, because owls, I think, are I think all animals obviously have like a lot of like spiritual like energy to them, and like they can be messengers of like in a spiritual sort of way, you know what I mean? I think owls in a we call them the totem, whatever your spirit animal is. You know,
totem.
Anyway, that's a different like subject, but that was very interesting. But anyway, and then our last interesting 4, interesting story number 4. We were at, this is here in the southeast, at a campsite. I think we were there for like a week or whatever, but halfway through our stay, like kind of not across from us, but like catty corner. I don't even know what that word means.
That means over and at an angle.
Yeah, but we could see basically them. But there's a group that pulled into a campsite. It was an older man and lady. They were like probably in their late 60s or 70s. They were a little up there, and I bring this up because there was them, and then the people that were with them was what scared me a little bit. Okay, there was 3 young children. 3 young boys. So there's one there, the oldest one is probably around maybe 8 or something.
Something like that.
I don't know how to age children.
It was like,
from a distance.
It was
The
like
one was
8,
like 8.
Then there's one that was like 4, and there's one that was like 1.
1 or 2 at most. Because it was walking really good. So maybe 1.5. I don't know. But basically, it's a little scary because you have these older people and then these 3 like really young kids. And at least from my experience with our kids, when they start getting to that age, they're kind of like bouncing off the walls a lot.
Yeah.
They make a lot of noise. they're very, they're, what do you call it? You have to...
You have to kind of like keep your eye on them. They're very explorative, they're very loud, they're very messy, they're into everything, trying to learn about things.
So I was like, oh my gosh, those people, wait, do they have someone there helping them? What's going on? And so I was kind of like a little bit nervous for the older people that had those kids. Yeah. But so what's weird about this, so they were there probably like 3 or 4 days, I don't know. But so what's weird about it is that I was expecting to see these people like having to chase these children around like the whole time and like getting worn out or something, I don't know. But each time we were out there and saw them, like, and I never heard any noise from their RV either, or when they were outside their kids, or when we were out there and we went past them, the kids were like quiet. Like none of them ever made like a peep.
Ridiculously quiet.
And they would play with the kids and like walk them around in like a wheelbarrow and stuff. When we were outside, we'd see them and they just sat there. The kids just like sat there. A wagon where the kids just like sat there. Even like the smaller ones.
Yeah.
And I was like,
even when they were playing too, like they were just like playing their little sandbox. It was like,
it was weird because it was like, wait, are those children? What's going on here? But so in the end, and that's how it was pretty much the whole time. I was expecting there to be a big issue because, you know, you have these 3 little kids and they tend to make a lot of noise and, like you said, are really messy. You have to be running around after them a lot, but like
drugged.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know what was going on there.
It's very weird.
I'm just happy that by the end of it, I'm assuming those are the grandparents. They didn't seem like they were
overwhelmed,
exhausted, or anything like that. And I don't know. It was just weird. It was very strange.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
It was weird. I don't know.
At one point, I was like, how come our kids aren't quiet like that? What the heck?
What's the secret?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that was just weird just because, like, it was just kind of strange. It was just like, wait a minute, who put these 3, like, potential, like, wild puppies with these people that may not be able to keep up with them? I don't know. But yeah, it was just interesting. I think that was it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the camping and RVing we've done over the last year, or campgrounds and whatever, those are like literally the 4 most... Actually, we've had a lot of interesting experiences, but those were like, I think
the standouts.
Those are the standouts. There you go, yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, that wraps up 1 year of RVing.
Yes. It's been fun.